Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're still having an amazing day regardless of what's going on. We're going to take a look at Gala and identify any potential opportunities or just more importantly, see what's going on here. And first things first, we usually look at Bitcoin, but I can tell you it's just kind of stuck sideways right now, stuck on stupid as I like to say. And simply put, we're looking at about 48,800, still trying to figure out what it wants to do. And that's pretty standard considering how large of a sell-off we just had and the world events, etc. Everything's that's going on right now. We just kind of got to be okay with some sideways action. That'll allow for some altcoins to effectively be able to recover a little bit until Bitcoin decides which direction it's heading. Is it going to drop to 42? Is it going to pass 52? What's going on? We're not quite sure just yet, but no news is good news at this point, right? All right, so let's go ahead and pull up some of the important stuff here and we'll get to work. First of all, also, not a financial advisor, right? So if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining me. Obviously, I appreciate that. And just know I'm not a financial advisor, but I love teaching people how to trade. I've been trading for over 15 years. My goal is to help you become a better trader. All right, that's just simply the way it works. And I also have a trading community if you want to consider joining that as well. It's linked through Patreon down below, of course. Description, I got like some videos kind of help explaining what that entails, but it's a really cool trading community / signal group where I share every single trade that I take with my community, but I also provide you with best practice, and ultimately just becomes a pretty good situation. So had a lot of people learn a lot so far, and it's really awesome. Thanks again to my patrons so much for requesting I cover this. Now taking a look here at Gala, 1-day chart, all the standard stuff's here, right? We got the, what is it? Oh, this is on for a smaller time frame. We got 50 on the RSI, still holding strong. So that basically reaffirms the fact that we got 47 cents as a strong support level, even though the price, yes, came down below and again here today. It has since recovered, and on the 1-day candlesticks, even though this hasn't closed yet, we can see that that's holding as a strong support. Keep in mind, the 1-day candlestick is probably the best way in which you can consider a strong support and resistance level based on the ways in which it closes. In other words, yes, we got a couple candle wicks down here, but the price has never truly closed in the 24-hour time frame below that level, right? So it has enough time to be able to recover and bounce back. So all good stuff there in that sense for Gala. Not saying it's going to take off today because of that, but that does help. Also note too, we are above the 200-day 7-moving average on the 4-hour chart. That is excellent. We like to see that hold as a support level. It's traditionally worked as a very strong support, but keep in mind, Gala ramped up so fast and so quick that the price still hasn't even gotten to the 200-day 7-moving average. Usually it works a little bit more quicker, I guess you could say. Traditionally, you're going to have a natural progression up where it bounces off of it consistently. So right now, with it being kind of further away, it's all well and good. Just know that's a secondary support if we lose 369 as a potential Fibonacci retracement level. That is the lowest level. I don't think we're going to see much lower for that, honestly, because you look at how well it's held up considering what happened recently. It bounced back very, very strong. A lot of good coins did this, right? Luna, Mana, there's a handful of others. I think even KuCoin recovered very well. And yes, they're trailing off right now, but that's just kind of that sell-off from the weekend because of the news that could have potentially occurred today and hasn't yet. And when I say news, I just mean that, the Dow didn't go down or the S&P didn't drop on its face. And we're actually seeing some positivity there, a little bit of increase, which is why we're seeing some green candles right now. Okay, so again, consider dollar cost averaging. That's kind of the takeaway here, as well as pretty much with any other coin you're going to want to invest in right now. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, but just keep adding to your position if you have the opportunity, and this is the coin that you want to invest in. But I can tell you, this is one of those coins that's definitely top 10 for me. So check out my top 5 video. I don't believe I alluded to this, but this kind of falls in that same category. Okay, definitely something that's worth investing in. Taking a look at RSI, we're under 50, which isn't terrible. That basically just implies we're still bearish. The whole entire market's bearish. I don't know if you saw this, but there's literally very few green candlesticks today. And most of them are just kind of breaking even or recovering from their significant loss on Sunday yesterday. So that's kind of standard right now. We can kind of get used to that. Unfortunately, I would say the next 24 to 48 hours, we're probably going to see some very similar price action. Moving forward to the 1 hour, we'll see kind of what's going on here. Taking a look at the cloud, we're under the cloud, no surprise. It's pretty standard right now considering the sell-off. The conversion line is below the baseline and the lagging span isn't even clear of any price action. In fact, it's intersecting right now, which would imply that if you are shorting, you'd want to close your position. Okay, so good stuff. Not great in the sense that it hasn't broken through that cloud yet, but we're still in good shape. Whereas if we can kind of get the 1-day candlestick to close over 47 cents, that'll work as a support. And then we can kind of work on continuing to progress upwards. But It's too early. We don't have any higher highs or higher lows yet. But the key takeaway here is that we are looking and we're trending closer to, a better situation. In other words, these lower lows here are likely going to be broken soon, right? So obviously we shouldn't expect to see another lower low. I would expect the price to kind of continue up here and do one of these. So ultimately looking good in that sense. I would say short term for Gala is definitely, I would say, bullish, but how bullish is it going to be? We don't know yet, right? So very, very short term, I'd say micro is bullish, but macro for the moment is undecided considering, Bitcoin's still going sideways, right? Now, granted, we want sideways action from Bitcoin for coins like this to take off, but we can't expect that when the price just dropped 27% in 16 hours. There's no way that these coins are going to just shoot straight to the moon. Yes, they're going to have that knee-jerk reaction that I refer to, but it's already happened, right? We've already got this from a lot of coins, and then they sold off because of the weekend. Traditionally, you see the price increase over the weekend, right? But this didn't occur based on the simple fact that there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the stock market today. So until that kind of comes to fruition, we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. And I think this whole month is going to be like this based on the fact that we got a lot of inflation stuff going on. And, like the US dollar is a strange thing. It's really affecting a lot of stuff here. So that plays a big part. And, obviously what's going on in the government too. So yeah, I would just recommend maybe staying abreast on the news. That I think that helps because that really helps us understand what direction we're taking. But until I would say next year, we're going to have that kind of, I think that we're still going to be in the fear market, in my personal opinion, unless Bitcoin can just shoot straight up. Even though the 4-year cycle has shown that it's done very well in December, we don't have any indication of that with the news presently, right? Now, we didn't have this kind of news going on 4 years ago, so you got to take that into consideration. There's a lot of kind of conflicting information going on right now. Anyway, sorry to go off on that little soapbox there, but simply put here with Gala, again, higher highs and higher lows is the important thing. We can identify that. We can get the one-day candlestick to close over 47 cents. We'll be in good shape to maybe, likely leg up to 54. I do think it's likely more so that Gala in the short term, I would say within the next week or two, we should see Gala get back up to 60, 70 cents. I don't see that as a problem. I think that's a very strong likelihood. But right now, if you kind of just take a look at where it's at, there's a lot of resistance here where it's at 47 cents because you see previously 47 cents was a strong resistance. In fact, let's take a quick look at the volume profile and see where it's accumulating the most. And we'll just go ahead and go with this most recent Fibonacci retracement level and kind of see here. So you can see based on its highest point to its lowest point, the most amount of volume accumulation is right around 63 cents. So where we're at right now is kind of uncharted territory in that sense, where we have a lot of room to grow, but there's also going to be some strong resistance levels to surpass. Okay. Now that's not bad. Don't get me wrong. This is perfectly fine. This is pretty standard considering the circumstance, but that amount of volume, that much higher, we got plenty of room until we hit that type of ceiling. Just don't be surprised if the price rejects off around 60 or 66 cents because that's where the most amount of volume is accumulated, and that could essentially work as a resistance. That's how the volume profile does tend to work for the most part, is it'll tell you a lot about how much accumulation is in a specific amount of time frame, which is important to note because if you're not already familiar with just say the volume weighted average price, it takes a lot of the volume lasts 24 hours and express it as a price. Well, the volume profile does a similar thing, only it's more time specific instead of 24 hours. So you can go kind of larger with it. But the takeaway here is that those commonly work as resistance and support levels. Okay, we're below that resistance level, therefore that could work as a potential resistance channel. So my speculation is the price will continue to progress upwards until it hits about 60 cents. Then we might see a rejection. But if we can keep making higher highs and higher lows and getting up to that point, then we can potentially break, right? All right, so a little premature, but I would say just dollar cost average. You're going to hear me say that a lot at this point. Don't go all in just yet, even though it does have it's giving us a good sign that's wanting to turn around, and we're still very new into this progression, right? We're at a 4 on TD sequential. If you see here, Gala has a tendency of going up to a 9 and doing a little +1, +2, or +3 action. It's done that plenty of times in the past. So hypothetically, we got 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 hours worth of bullish momentum. We could very well see a break to the upside there to kind of rest around 54 cents. Okay. So again, just something to consider, but all in all, I would say in the next 24 hours, best case scenario would be 54 cents. Worst case scenario would be to kind of just continue to go consolidate right around 47 where we're at. I do not foresee us getting closer to 36, 37 cents anymore unless Bitcoin falls flat on its face today or tomorrow, right? We've got to be aware of that. And that's the main reason why I'm trying to exercise caution with everybody. Be mindful that altcoins are at a 3 to 4x reaction rate to Bitcoin right now. 1% from Bitcoin, we could expect a 4% correction from Gala, right? Just be mindful of that. That is a very strong likelihood. Okay, hopefully you found benefit and this didn't raise more questions than answers. We'll go ahead and cover Gala again tomorrow. We'll get back on track with this. Try not to worry or, concern yourself. I think we're darn close to the bottom. The fact that it didn't go much lower than 37 cents is very impressive for Gala. It speaks high of it. And I think that we're going to see somewhere in the range of 60 cents soon. We just need to be able to bridge the gap of breaking that resistance at 54 first. Thanks again for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon.